Hey YouTubers, Electric Adventures here with a slightly different video. This is a collection summary video. So this is my, I'm also quite an avid sci-fi movie buff, and this is my Laserdisc collection. So I do actually have quite a few. There's a big stack here. So I'll go through these and as quickly as possible in as much detail, and we'll see how we go. Now we'll start, of course, with the goes without saying must-have for any Laserdisc collection, mainly because so this is the THX widescreen version of Star Wars, and I believe the best version of the Star Wars movie. So before George Lucas started messing around with them and enhancing them, so it's the original theatrical release, but THX certified. So all they've done is cleaned up the colours, and it actually comes with stereo and digital soundtracks. So I've still got mine sealed in plastic, so unfortunately you're not going to be able to see the inside art. And as you can see, last chance to own the original version of Star Wars. If I can show you the back. And regardless of what I do with my Laserdisc collection in the future, I'll always keep these three. So here's Empire Strikes Back. I'm sorry about the lights in the background. Doing this of an early evening inside the house because it's a bit cold outside. Then we have Return of the Jedi. So these covers are similar to a set of videotapes that came out. I said they're in the plastic shrink wrap, so I can get the edges open so I can get to the discs. Now these Laserdiscs are going to be in no particular order. Got quite a lot of sci-fi ones. So we've got Van Damme, Time Cop, which is actually, for a Van Damme movie, is not a bad movie. And I've got The Quest. Now, this is a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, Village of the Damned. I highly recommend that movie to anybody who hasn't watched it. Right, we have, sorry, once again got the plastic on it still, William Shatner's Tech War, the original movie. The Tech War actually wasn't a bad, they were like mini telemovies series of shows, and they're good to find and watch. And also the book, which is co-written by William Shatner with a ghostwriter, isn't a too bad book either. A bit harder to find nowadays. And once again, these are a bit in random order, but we have Alien 3. I'm a big fan of the Alien series, and Alien 3 obviously isn't the best of the movies, but it's not too bad nonetheless. It's back to the you know, single alien menace like the first movie. There's a couple of things a bit strange with it, and then we have Alien Resurrection. Didn't quite hit the mark. It's all right in some places, and but definitely not the best one of the series. There's a pity about those lights. Now, this movie here is when we first got our Laserdisc player. Was my pick of the. Myself and my wife each got a movie each, and mine I picked Dracula. It's the deluxe widescreen version. I've got plastic protective covers on most of these. And the next one is the original Jurassic Park. This one doesn't have plastic on it, so we can have a squiz in the middle. Okay. Now I'm just going to shift the files around here. These Laserdiscs being so large and heavy, it's very important to keep them flat. And actually they shouldn't be stacked on top of each other, which is why I haven't got the piles too large. Now, and then we have Independence Day. The Laserdisc version of this, the sound on it is awesome. The centre spread. In the back, I'm trying to avoid those reflections if I can. Next, one of the kids' favourites, and I mean, not a bad movie, the original Mask, starring Jim Carrey. And one of the prides of the collection, Alien box set. Now this is, there's two different formats Laserdisc can come in, CLV and CAV. CLV stands for constant linear velocity, and CAV, it's gone from the memory, but the difference with CAV is that every track on the disc is a single frame, sort of, so you can get perfect still frames. So this is a box set, it has numerous discs in it. You do have to switch discs a lot during the movie, because you can only fit half an hour aside on a CAV disc, but it comes with some really nice material. And Alien is one of my favourite movies of all time. So there's the disc there, and there's actually a special making of featurette, and we've got signed, I mean printed signed ones though. Okay, and we have John Carpenter's Escape from New York. This is another movie that would be in my top 10. The music by John Carpenter did everything in this movie, and the music by John Carpenter's movie is excellent. And it's well paced, good gripping movie. Now you notice I've got two copies of it, because it's one of the Laserdiscs that somebody stepped on me for once. I managed to get a replacement copy, so I've still got the original. Perhaps if anybody's cover of their Escape from New York is not in good condition, they can contact me, we can swap for something. Another very good movie, Labyrinth. Good for the kids, good for adults. Very entertaining and a very well produced movie. Interesting slip. Now this is a music video of David Bowie's Black Tie White Noise. I am a David Bowie fan. I have quite a few of his albums. And for those who like good fantasy movies, we have Lady Hawk with Rutger Hauer in it from Blade Runner fame. Matthew Broderick. Very good movie. Highly recommend that one. And going also along the Jim Carrey theme, so before The Mask there was Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Not everybody's cup of tea, but quite an interesting movie nonetheless. Next we have Batman Forever. Not as good as the first two Batman films, but nowhere near as bad as the fourth one. This is the cover of this one's a little tatty. Now we find the movie that my wife chose to go alongside the Dracula as our first two movies, The Last of the Mohicans. This is a really, really good movie. Lovely set very well, beautiful pictures and video work. Some of the there's a scene where there's this grass field that really blows you away, and just really well set drama and good music and everything throughout. And Braveheart, good action movie. I haven't actually watched Braveheart for quite some time. And one good thing about collecting Laserdiscs is you get quite good covers and material because you've got so much space, I suppose. Solar Crisis. Now, actually, as an aside, Solar Crisis is very important because, oh, sorry if I change frames here for a second. Some of you may be familiar with this movie, Sunshine, that came out recently. Now remember, in Sunshine there is another ship already in place, and that is the ship from Solar Crisis. Unless I'm getting my early movies mixed up. Now, for a computer nerd like me, this is the movie Sneakers, about computer hackers, and I actually quite enjoy this movie. The next one is the original Mission Impossible, which is quite frankly the best one of the series. One of Tom Cruise's better movies. Right, another movie that would make it into my top 10 movies of all time. We have The Fifth Element, and the Laserdisc version is excellent quality. Oh, no, this is one movie I have rebought on Blu-ray. And then we have Flash Gordon. This movie brings back really good memories. Came out around at the same time as Blade Runner and the theatrical release of Battlestar Galactica. Okay, time for our next file. Just doing a bit of pile shuffling here. Okay. We have Interview with a Vampire. This has extremely good acting performances by both Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. That's one of the movies that I like Brad Pitt in. Now, what Sci-Fi collection wouldn't be complete without a copy of Dark Star, which is John Carpenter's early work. If you haven't watched Dark Star, grab Dark Star and give it a watch sometime. Another classic sci-fact movie is Apollo 13. For any space nut, it's a must, it looks like. I actually bought this off a friend of mine. It does have a bifold. Now, a lot of people don't know that the movie The Thing, which was also a John Carpenter movie, was a sequel to an original old movie called The Thing from Another World. Now, The Thing is actually a sequel. It carries on immediately after the events that are in The Thing from Another World. Now, obviously, old black and white movie, and you need to watch it in the right frame of mind. Getting around lines such as, "He'll never get through there, that's solid corrugated iron." It's one of my favourite lines in the movie. A lot of talking, but actually a very, very good old movie. So, if you're ever going to watch an old movie, I thoroughly recommend this one. So it's actually quite a well produced one. It actually has a clip-in section for the disc, which is unusual. Bios and all the stars. So it's actually quite a nice little set. Dangerous Liaisons, one of my wife's early favourites. Not a bad movie, but I probably haven't watched it for a very long time. Now, another one of my favourite 80s sci-fi movies, starring Sean Connery, Outland. And I said, if you're a fan of sci-fi movies, if you haven't seen this one, you know, find a copy somewhere and give it a watch. It is actually a very good sci-fi movie. Sean Connery does a good job. Now we have George Lucas's student work, which is THX 1138. Just for completion in the collection. I'm not terribly fond of it as a movie myself. Okay, next. And it's actually interesting, I've been through this collection for a while and I forget how many movies I've got in it. So the next one is LIFEFORCE. So it's a sci-fi vampire movie. Quite well known for the fact that the main girl star in it spends most of the movie naked. So, a teen boy's dream it was. And once again, for any computer nerd and sci-fi favourite, must have War Games. War Games is just one of those perfect 80s computer, you know, the computers are going to take over the world movies. And there's actually a lot of research into the fact that the two movies, War Games and 2001: A Space Odyssey, actually account for the baby boomer generation's fear of using computers. Because they lived in not only the atomic bomb is going to kill us all era, but that computers were going to take over everything, and that's why they're scared of them. So people who are older than baby boomers usually don't have a problem because they're from the post-war boom and they're more flexible. And Generation X, which is me, after the baby boomers, grew up with computers. So next we have another Tom Cruise movie, Jerry Maguire. Which has the famous line, "Show me the money." Not a bad film. And look at that, I actually haven't opened, so that must have been a sealed black tie white noise. For some reason I have two copies of that. Next we have the original Excalibur movie. This is a fantastic fantasy movie. Now this Laserdisc version is the full length version of the movie, so it's quite long. So 141 minutes, so bit, you know, almost 2.5 hour sit. The extra bits that are put in that were cut out of the theatrical release are mainly around the Grail search part. So it's got 3 sides, so 2 CLV sides, and the final side is in CAV, so you can pause it. That's a good movie. Next, another Sean Connery movie, Hunt for Red October. This, if you like, you know, sub and war movies, is highly recommended. It's a good drama movie and very well done. Next we have another sci-fi classic. So this is a late 70s, yeah, very late 70s. I'll just check the date on this. I mean, the Laserdisc was brought out in 1987. I don't know when the original movie was. But this interesting to note that the models in this were built by one of the guys who worked on Star Wars. So there's and I really love the robots in this. It's a bit 70s orientated in some of the music bits and stuff like that, but if you can get through that, highly recommended. Very interesting movie, and just one of those enjoyable sci-fi movies. Now next we have Star Trek IV. So this is where the more comedy orientated, well, introduces a bit of humour into the Star Trek characters, and a good fan favourite. And the next one, Star Trek VI, which I always used to use as a demonstration of the surround capabilities of my stereo, because at the start of the movie the Klingon moon Praxis explodes and you've got the big shockwave that goes across space. This is a really good quality film, and one of the best early Star Trek films. It's got a lot of detail in it, you know, just little things like when you're going around the ship there's lots of signs and things like that, so they humanised it a bit more. And I think the characters really found their stride with this movie. Good story. So, one of the more enjoyable Star Trek movies. Now, the last item I've got here is probably something that Sean Connery would love to erase from his movie catalogue. It's called Zardoz. This is usually best watched with several beers or whatever your favourite beverage is, and have a good laugh. It's very, very 70s and very strange. I think I picked it up on special for a couple of dollars at one stage, and yeah, a very humorous and enjoyable watch. Now I do actually have a couple of Japanese manga laser discs, but they're out but on loan with a friend. Alright, so that's my Laserdisc collection. I hope you've enjoyed this and hope this video hasn't gone too long, and I'll catch you next time.